So I want to talk to you about network marketing. I want to talk to you about not only what is the last bastion of free enterprise, not only that is about probably one of the most remarkable companies ever in the direct selling industry, in the history of direct selling, but I want you to talk about network marketing at its finest. Network marketing at its optimal finest, and that is ACN. There is nothing that I have seen that has moved myself internally, that has hit the criteria of how to measure a bona fide opportunity, like I know how to measure it. And for those that know how to measure a bona fide opportunity versus all the hype and the rah-rah that's out there and all of the illuminated propaganda about being in early and what this company's going to do when it's unproven. Look, certainly we were a startup company in the early days, but you see, they had something I could not deny. We were marketing something I was already using. I was going to use whether I got it from ACN or not. I couldn't figure out how to ever pay it off, and I was going to use it for the rest of my lifespan. And they could give me a better value or as good a value as anything that I could possibly choose without sacrificing the quality of it. And I simply said to myself, what's wrong with this picture? Oh, I know what's wrong with this picture. It sounds too good to be true. But it is. So what the hell am I going to do? I made a decision to plant my flag. I made a decision to represent the colors of ACN. I made a decision not to care what went this way. I decided to go that way. I made a decision that you're either the steamroller or part of the pavement, but you need to pick one quickly. Lead follower, get the hell out of the way. And so the first lesson I have for you, if there's any lessons or any takeaways that from this network marketing piece I want to kind of share with you on the first day of our training here, is that posture and backbone means everything in anything you believe in. You need to have a steel spine of your belief. You need to wear your heart on your sleeve. Two cornerstones of success in anything is work ethic and enthusiasm for what you do. Look, here was the beautiful thing about what my message is for you this morning, this afternoon, and that is this. It doesn't matter whether you come with me or not. You need to know I'm going with you or without you. That's the message. And then I'm going to go out there and prove it. Why? Because I need people to say no to this. I need people that I want to do this that say no to even looking at it. I need people that say no to looking at it, and not looking at it, that are people I want in it to say no. Because I need to have that emotional fuel that says, I'm going to make it with you or without you. See, these people, write it down, take it with you, record this thing, are necessary in any endeavor you pursue that is worthwhile for you and your life. You need to have the naysayers. They are necessary. You can't be a great leader in ACN. You'll never be an SVP if you don't have naysayers. Never, because you won't know how to handle your people through the emotional stages and the emotional roller coasters that they will be on. How many people have been on a roller coaster or two so far? Absolutely. Here's second takeaway. We are in the emotional management business. You need to emotionally manage yourself in ACN. Don't get emotional about people's responses, even though you will. I did too. The thing that got me a little bit edgy was when people said, no, it's not for me, and I don't want it to be for you. Now, I could have just asked them to be my customer. They could have said no, never included them in the opportunity, right? But what did I do? I said, look, this may or may not be for you, but I want you to look at it. No, I don't want to look at it. Well, how can you say no to something you have no idea what you're saying no to? That's not smart. At least know what you're saying no to. It's not for me. And then I just say, okay, it's not for you. Maybe the timing isn't right for you to look. Maybe, having no money in your pocket isn't enough. Maybe you need a couple holes in your shoes. Look, you're married to my sister. You need to look at this. How many people know that the people sometimes that you talk to that give you negative statements are people that have no goals and no dreams for their lives, but they have an opinion about your goal and your dream for your life? That opinion never counts. Never. Never counts. So you need to diminish that opinion immediately. Look how they live. Look how they talk. Look at their friends, because you are your friends. You are your friends. You dress like they dress. You talk like they talk. You earn like they earn. And I'm not here to knock that. I'm not here to say I'm 100% correct, but I think you get the message there. Some people we're going to have to leave behind. So I want to let you understand what ACN is. Listen to this. In ACN, you're building a book of business that you own, that acts as an asset for income, and it pays you residually. You own it, which means you can sell it, will it, you can transfer it, you can have it part of your estate. And I have come to find out, I have now almost completed my 20th year in ACN. 20th year. And I can actually say that this is a generational business. Why? Because when I was born, I think Lincoln was president. When I was born, ACN wasn't around, but when my son was born, my son was 3 weeks old the day I signed that incredible application for ACN. And now he's almost 20 years old. So it's generational, because he can now sign an independent business owner agreement and be in ACN. He has not done that yet. He has not, because he needs to want to do it. See, I don't want it more for him than he wants it for himself. I can't let that happen. I'm not going to push him into ACN. Does that make sense, everybody? But he knows that Dad is in ACN. He understands ACN. He's been part of ACN, around ACN, and he's a wonderful man that's been influenced greatly by this company. Is that a good thing? How about the environment here and the energy here? Is it wonderful? So it's a generational business. The 21st century says, folks, and I want you to pay attention to this, the 21st century says is that you're not going to make it with 20th century thinking. A lot of us in here are operating with thinking that no longer fits. We've entered into the new economy that pays you for information, knowledge, and creativity. We must develop an intangible new skill sets. How many people understand that this is a decade, this is a millennium of multiple skill sets, multiple streams of energy, alternative streams of income? So it's more valuable that we become, when we come into the marketplace, by having multiple skill sets. So we've entered into the performance-based era of compensation. How many people know that this is a performance-based era of compensation? No one's going to pay you a base salary unless you are a skilled, administrative, or fixed retail site type of situation where you know that that salary you will never get increased greater than the job is designed to pay. How many people have been in salaries where you've done so much, you're so valuable to them, but the job description and the salary attached will never change because that's how they structured their company and their pay scale? How many people know that? Can see your hands. So if we know that, we now have an understanding of what we're looking at toward our future. And usually, it's just not enough for us to go into what we call our retirement, or what you call your SUPA here, right? So it's very, very important. Now, what I loved about network marketing was that it was a word-of-mouth, referral-based, networking, relationship type of business. That if I could provide you value and show you value, right? In our case, services essential to your life, and you could get it from a person that you know, like, and trust, I didn't understand anything that was wrong with that. How many of you would agree that it's a refreshing? We have really hit the hot spot on something refreshing in network marketing. Yes or no? We really have. Now, 95% of the time we can be equal or better in every arena that we're in. Are we 100% better every single time? No. No. Because that's the truth. No. There are companies that will change, and monopolies will always change and shift, give promotions, and they have gotchas riddled throughout some of the promotions they have. How many of you realize that a promotion is just that, a promotion for a short period of time? And then once you're in it, after the time period goes up, they jack it back up. Look, we understand the industry, but if you want to have long-term value, and we know that we're going to only acquire and retain customers with long-term value, doesn't that make sense that you would want that? Absolutely. Why not get it from someone you know, like, and trust? And that is the thing that hooked me. Now, beyond that, I needed to know how this thing worked. Now, I got to tell you, and I say this with respect, and I'm going to just say it because it's true. Being part of this, I didn't want to be a small player. I didn't want to be a spectator. I wanted to be a participant in the advancements of a large possible life that I could have for me and my family. So I played this, and I played this to win big. And because I treated it with the respect and the honor and the dignity, not like a lottery ticket, right? I have earned millions upon millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Now, I say that only to say this. It's not about what I earn. What it is about is putting people in a position that have given me the dance floor that I can dance upon, this platform that I have here, to give you the respect and the obligation to give the blessing back, because now I know the route to the top of the mountain. See, I was in a valley when I started ACN. Yes, I was at the top of another direct selling company. That company made some bad decisions, hurt a lot of people. I came into ACN by myself with all of the knowledge on how to build something like this, but I had people that I trained and developed in my other company that just got hurt too much, and they just didn't want to follow me into this. So I don't think I brought an army. This was a startup company with no story, no track record, and no one making any money. How many people want to join me under that situation? It was not pretty, but I had a feeling in the pit of my stomach, like some of you have in the pit of your stomach, that this is the one. If it's to be, it's up to me. I get that, but I got to get better, and if I do, it's been displayed already in 23 countries, 4 continents, that people are doing well. And if there's people that are making this kind of money, there's nothing that anybody else can learn, that knows that I can't eventually learn, implement, execute, and apply in my life, and over time, have it work for me. See, I really believe that if I wanted to be anything that I desired to be, if I had the people that were available to me, that were willing to teach me and train me, educate me, then inspect what they expect out of me and monitor that I was doing what we both committed to do, right? And we became partners in this business. and they became my voice of authority. They gave me the command of the language. They gave me all the things that you're going to be trained on today. They were my rock. They were my pillar. These were the things that I leaned upon. These are the people that I counted on. But, you see, the reason why it worked the other way, the reason why they were willing to invest the time in me was because they had a financially vested interest in my success and subsequent development, because if I won, they won. If they win, if I win, they win. If you win, your upline wins. If we all win, the company wins. And so what we've created is win-win. The only news that matters is the news that you create for yourself. You don't like your circumstances, create new circumstances. And it begins with you. Look, man, here's our option. Look at the qualifications here, folks. Look, this is a perfect situation. Look at this. No resume, you got no job, no alarm clock, no politics, no boss, no inventory, no discrimination, no educational requirement, no glass ceilings, no age limits, no traffic. No employees, no high capital startup, capital expenditure, no skills, maybe, no contacts. No list looks pretty good because it isn't your talent, it isn't your contacts. Folks, listen carefully, it'll never change for me. It's the size of your heart. It's a heart issue. It's a heart issue. You see, when ACN is parked in your heart, then you only got one thing that's left to do, and that's go to school. You need to get better. I've preached it for years. The largest room in the world is the room for improvement. We can all get better. Larry Raskin can get better. Mike Kupis can get better. What I love about our co-founders is that they are never satisfied with the status quo. They are always considering how can we make the opportunity better for our IBOs worldwide. And let me tell you something, for your nominal fee of entering into this company, the company spends millions every single month. Millions of dollars to make your future opportunity better. Do you want future opportunities coming to Australia where the company will spend millions of dollars to improve the quality of your business as it sits today? How many people would like to see unbelievable opportunity in the next 24 months here in Asia Pacific and not spend one more dollar, but to have much greater an opportunity? Let them spend the money, you take advantage of it, we're the beneficiaries. How many people love that deal? That's what it's going to be like. So the no list looks pretty good, and when we think of our choices, it's a short list. It's a very short list in network marketing on companies that actually can produce what they say they can do. When we said we were going international, we went international. When we said we were going into Asia, we meant it. We opened up Korea, which was a massive investment. The Asian communities, they understand the Western world. And there's a lot of over-promising and under-delivering. And if you want to set up shop in Asia, it's going to cost you some serious financial wherewithal. And we spent many, many millions of dollars like we did here to open up there, but it wasn't for Korea. It was for the hub. It was for the pivot center, the central location to centralize all of continental expansion throughout mainland Asia. Just like how many people are excited about Malaysia and Indonesia, Singapore, the Philippines. How many people are excited about that? You should be, because those are all things that we're entertaining moving forward over the coming years. So understand, financial freedom versus financial what? Slavery. Look, financial bondage is never fun. Working paycheck to paycheck, having way too much month at the end of the money. Right? Time freedom, lifestyle, family, friends, and kids. I mean, folks, it is about lifestyle for me. I mean, when I am in Italy, or when I am in any place in Europe or in the Caribbean or wherever I am, and my phone rings, I pick and choose to answer that call. I want you to understand that. If it's a call that I know is going to advance somebody's business or their organization, or it's somebody that I can select who I want to speak to, I can be in my low beach chair, waves kicking in on my feet, watching cruise liners go by, doing a three-way call, helping somebody have a better understanding of the business I love. How many people would like to live that way? And because that's what, if you have a phone and a laptop, you are absolutely global. And that's the business that we operate under, okay? So understand it, if you only knew the lifestyle, and you're going to get a view of that lifestyle through Spencer Hunt this weekend, if you only knew the lifestyle of our SVPs, you would work 10 times harder than you are right now. I promise you that. So when you take a look at the blue collar and the white collar and the investments that you have to do in order to have any kind of successful living, you know, jobs are important. I'm not knocking jobs. Please don't think I am. Jobs are necessary. You know, public servants are necessary. But at the end of the day, I mean, let's face it, these are the ways that we make money, you know? You know, trades, you know, skilled laborers, these are all important people to our society. But at the end of the day, there's a lifestyle that's attached to that. True or not? So understand this. With ACN taking this seriously, you can out-earn doctors that have spent 12 years, lawyers that have spent 8 years in university trying to do what they do. And certainly, it's making the money is important. It's not making the money, it's what the money is being used for. If you talk to anybody that understands money and the instrument that it is, money is a tool to make more money. Do you understand that? So I want you to get real clear. Now here, what do these occupations that you see here in common? I want you to take a look at these occupations. 5th grade teacher, small business owner, a waiter, college basketball player, college students, high school graduate, college baseball player, discrimination attorney, account executive, executive book owner, serial entrepreneur, many small businesses, shopping cart repairman, corporate executive, housewife, real estate agents, mortgage specialists, car salesman, merchandising entrepreneur, college dean, rock and roll guitarist, pharmaceutical salesman. Let me tell you what I just described. The 2013 Circle of Champions. The 2013 Global Circle of Champions for ACN, that's who they were. So let me ask you a question. What's your excuse? What's your excuse? Let me say something to you folks. Do you think they had doubts? Do you think they had some fears in the beginning? Apprehension, we call that. The fear of the unknown, right? I shared the definition of fear, and I want you to say it. I want to say it again. Fear is a misuse of your imagination. Total misuse. Because false evidence appearing real as an acronym, right? It's how you spell fear. False evidence appearing real. If fear was real, we'd all have the same fears. True or not? But it's how you're using your imagination, and you're misusing it greatly. So I want you to write this statement down if you're writing anything. We need to operate out of our imagination rather than our past. So if we can operate out of the things to come, the things that we desire in our life, rather than the baggage that we keep on dragging forward and having that as blinders, as filters, as buffers for future opportunity, we'll always have a tainted view of what could be in our lives, versus letting go and freeing yourself to accept and embrace the potential and the promise and the hope of the future. And I'm here to tell you, folks, that's what this is all about, is putting your occupation, if it's not up on this screen, on this slide. Why? Because you can. Okay? So, network marketing, one of the biggest things that you're going to have to do, you're going to have to embrace a temporary loss of social esteem from ignorant people. That means that you're not going to get the call, you know, to be part of the party, or where you were invited to things that you're no longer getting the call, and only after the fact you heard that maybe some of your friends got together. You may miss out. But you see, I'm just going to let you understand one thing, folks, and that is also necessary. that is also necessary. To know that people don't think enough of you to encourage you enough to get to your goal, to get to your dream. Just encourage you, not join you. Did I say join you? Say no to the opportunity. I can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate you saying no to this, because it's all about numbers. Here's what I know. If people are exposed to the opportunity in a very positive way, in a very energetic environment, I know that 3 out of every 10 people will get in my business. That's what I know. If it's a great presentation with high energy and I've invited you properly, right? You've heard it the right way. I know that 3 out of 10, and I need you to be one of the 7 that don't see it. See, I need you to be part of my ratios. See, so I need to make sure that you see it, because if it's not for you, I got one question for you. You can't deny it's not an opportunity, because you're paying your bills. You'd like to pay less. I'm going to ask you to be my customer, but let me tell you, I know the timing isn't right. You haven't, and you've shared that with me, but let me just ask you this. All the people you know, who do you think would really like this? So no is not no. No is no now. No becomes yes with new information. No becomes yes with new timing. How many people agree that sometimes timing can screw things up for people? True or not? So don't be disappointed. Just understand the timing for them to join you is not now. So you must prove to them that the opportunity is worthy by working harder to make it without them. Let me tell you something, folks. I had my friend Hal say to me, "You're doing what? You're doing another, you know how many companies are doing that phone thing? Phone thing? You, Larry?" My high school buddy Hal. How do you like that response? How many people would kind of like look at him and just simply say, "Idiot"? Well, I didn't say idiot. 6 months later, he says, "You know, hey, Larry, I hear you're doing okay in that phone thing." I said, "I'm doing okay, Hal." A year goes later, he says, "Hey, Larry, how you doing in that phone thing?" I said, "I'm doing really well." He says, "Yeah, I heard. Mark's doing well, Bobby's doing well, Chuck is doing well." I said, "Yeah, Hal, yeah." Years go by, he says, "Larry, I saw a magazine article, man, the money that you've made, I can't remember the number." I said, "A real big number?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "That was me." A couple of years went by. I haven't seen him in a bunch of years, but the last time he says, "Larry, how's that phone thing going?" I said, "Hal, stop asking me that. It's not a phone thing. It's a global thing. How's the delicatessen doing, Hal?" You making enough sandwiches for the people at lunch? You cutting up enough pickles, putting them on the plate and the potato chips, right? Let me tell you something. Hal's grandfather owned a delicatessen. His father owned a deli. And guess what he's going to learn? He's going to earn. He's going to own. What's he going to own? The delicatessen. See, he suffers from what some of you suffer from or used to suffer from, and that's called generational thinking. Once again, you cannot survive and thrive in the 21st century with 20th century thinking. So be excited that you're right, you're thinking differently, you're living differently, you're earning differently. True or not? So be proud of the fact that you're different, right? That you see what others don't see. That what you do comes from your own conclusion. One of the things that I always talk about is that it doesn't matter whether they believe, you believe, and then do it without them. Do the things that you know you need to do. Follow the system, that you believe in yourself. Be proud of that, folks. Look, there's a lot of you that don't think well of yourselves. I'm telling you, I was recruited by the brokest friend in my life. My sponsor, mine. The brokest friend in my life recruited me. So what's that say for the broke people in this room? is that you have people in your life where you could have a miracle in your mouth for them. And because of you, they altered the generations of their family, like my broke friend and his sponsor sponsor changed the entire direction of ACN simply because he was brave enough to get beyond himself and talk to people. Don't make up people's minds for them. Talk to people, see the people, tell the story, show the plan. And be proud of the fact that you have hope for a better future for yourself and for your family. So the 7 fundamentals, here's what you have to do. They're simple, but they're mundane. You got to learn how to master the mundane. Prospecting, inviting, presenting, follow-up, closing, launching new IBOs, and promoting events. And what you specifically need to master is the 10 core commitments. This document, just so you know where it is what I taught, is on the back office of the Australian site, here, Asia Pacific. And what you have to do, you have to learn how to do these things. Learn and teach. 24-hour game plan, that will be covered this weekend. Customer acquisition will be done this weekend. Compensation plan, absolutely this weekend. How to support your weekly trainings and presentations, your regional and international events. International event, is this a great venue to learn from? Yes or no? Yes. Understanding the law of large numbers and the ratios that I'm referring to. Monitoring your business by inspecting what you expect and making sure duplication is taking place. Personal growth, having a working partner. Most importantly, the long-term vision of ACN. See, learning them and then teaching them. But one word, because that's what this is all about, folks, effectively. We got to teach effectively. You say to yourself, I'm teaching. You have no idea how hard I'm working. I'm teaching this as best as I can based upon where I am, and I believe you. Where you are, you're doing the best that you can, but you got to improve. You've got to get better, meaning that you got to have more perspective on how to do those 10 things, and you got to do it effectively. Can we do this? So the 10 core commitments are something that you have got to embrace. You've got to learn. It's very simple. Here's what I knew. Here's what somebody would say to me if I had me to learn from 25 years ago, or let's say 20 years ago when I started, and there was someone that had my skill set. Does that sound better? Not necessarily me, but my skill set. The desire to pour into me, right? Somebody that really understood the industry. And I had that ability just to master 10 things that so many people from all those occupations were doing and have already displayed the track record of doing it, already living a dream on earth. They're living it. They pinch themselves every day and it's not a dream, it's their life. And I could learn that. I could live that way. And I had to master those 10 things. I had to effectively learn and effectively teach what I attempted. What do you think? Knowing me for this short 40-minute window, do you think I would be excited about it? Yes. Well, you have that in the leaders that are teaching you. You have that in Mike Kupis that's here. You have that in me, where my number one responsibility is all of you. In the world of the ACN, my number one responsibility is all of you in Asia Pacific. And all I want to do is get to know the people that want it. All I want to do is I'm not going to be able to get to know all of you, but I'm going to get to know the people that want to be on the scoreboard. You got to get on the scoreboard. How many people know that? Raise your hands. Can I see your hands? You get on that scoreboard, I am telling you, great things can happen to your life. This is going to be one unbelievable weekend.